Everybody has to.
Oh yeah, those you got college stories. You got college stories.
I sure do.
Yeah,
sure do.
you went to ASU, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you go to ASU for?
I went to ASU for nursing downtown,
Nursing.
and I did a lot of my prereqs there
Uh-huh.
before starting at the university.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear some of these party stories. Can you give me one party story? Can you give me one? Can you give me one weird college experience?
Weird college experience. So it's my first semester. I just passed, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a bit of fun. So a friend pretty much hit me up, and he's like, all right, let's go out, do whatever. And I'm like, sure, let's go out. And then I didn't know where the hell we were going.
Uh-huh.
We ended up driving way down to Ahwatukee. And then I get there, there's a guy at the door with a suit jacket. And I'm like, what the hell? Where am I going? And then he brings us in. He's like, all right, here's a party. Here's the rules. First rule, everyone in here is getting fucked up. I was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't going to drink because, you know me, I really don't. But as soon as I got in there, they're like, oh, Sal's not going to drink. All you hear, my friends come running in because all they hear is screaming. And I'm like, yeah, let's get fucked up. And you got some Jaeger bombs and we're just downing them. And it was weird. It was a weird experience.
That was the first and that was the last time.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've partied a little bit, but that was one of the big ones.
I was never a partier. Even today, I'm not a partier. Let me rephrase that. I am not a partier. I don't get invited. let me rephrase that. I don't get invited to parties. I mean, I work at clubs as you know,
yes,
on the weekend, but I try and dip as soon as I can, dude. I'm there to film and then I'm out.
I hear you on that, brother.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaac Joel. Welcome to Opus Vita Talks, where we discuss my favorite things of all time, which is, of course, filmmaking. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to dive more into the process, into being a creator. This episode is more so dedicated to everyone out there who is just getting started into this, who has curiosity about this, or has already been into this field for some time now, and we're just piggybacking off of each other, sharing stories, sharing input with you here today. I have my guest here with me, my good friend Dean. Dean, introduce yourself.
Hey, what is going on, guys? I am Dean, aspiring filmmaker. This is actually my first year doing this, so it's been pretty cool. I never thought I would be doing filmmaking because I actually come from the acting side of things. I did a lot of drama in high school and also in college. I did the typical Shakespearean type of plays, and I never saw myself doing filmmaking. But it's a funny thing. I ended up starting.
Did you wear tights? Did you wear tights and the big parachute pants?
Parachute pants, makeup, the whole nine, man. It was an insane experience, and I ended up starting a YouTube channel to start doing gaming and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I picked up a DSLR, and one of the first things I looked up is how to make things more cinematic, and that just took off. And then next thing
everybody's first question. That was my first question. No, that's everybody's first question.
Heck yes, yeah, man. After I looked that up, I ended up making a little short video for a friend of mine. And I was just like, hey, I'm going to follow you with my camera, and we're going to do your little jiu-jitsu tournament. Mm-hmm. And I ended up making that video, and he's like, hey, man, you got a gift for this. This looks really good. I was like, what? It looks good? And then after that, I've just been going pretty much crackhead insane, reading all these books and hanging out with Isaac, of course.
That's one of the things I find... that's one of the things I love about you, dude, is because the way that you're coming at this is from such a textbook viewpoint. You are I'm constantly seeing you reading different books on Final Cut, on Premiere Pro, on cinematography, on character development, on all this stuff. Books I've never ever fucking read in my life, dude. I mean, I went to film school. I had to do a little bit of textbook homework there. I took all those photography programs in high school, right. But none of them taught me anything, dude. And I kind of YouTube, but for the most part, I consider myself a self-taught filmmaker. I literally go off of what I just watch in the movies and the behind the scenes and everything. But the fact that you're reading up on this stuff and doing your research is so fascinating to me. Just real quick, I want to introduce our as well. We got our producer in the back, Ruben Rapallo. Ruben, I don't know if you're set up. Are you?
Yep, I'm right.
There you go, brother. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Good, man. I'm good. I'm glad you're here. Before we get more, dive right into the podcast, I would like to briefly mention, we were just talking about this before the podcast. Dang, dude, there's no real easy way to get into this. As of Sunday morning, Kobe Bryant, along with his 13-year-old daughter, I believe 2 other friends of hers, as well as parents of these children, as well as a trained 20-year pilot, have lost their lives, unfortunately. A devastating plane helicopter crash. They were on their way to her basketball tournament, and they got caught up in a terrible storm, to which they couldn't see, and the helicopter went down. I was taking pictures with a fitness trainer. I was up in Tempe, and I just got out of my car, and he looked at me, and the first thing he even said to me was, "Dude, Kobe." And I was like, what are you talking about? Did you do something? What happened? In my mind, I just got done watching a bunch of that Aaron Hernandez murder documentary, dude.
Yeah, that is
so
insane.
The first thing that came to my mind was like, what now? What now?
It's like, please no.
But yeah, dude. I was like, please, not another. But he told me, he's like, dude, he's dead. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, disease? What happened? A helicopter crash.
I did not believe it at all. Like,
that sounds like the fakest thing ever. I came home.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was like helicopter crash. Like, it doesn't even sound real.
Yeah,
I don't know. It freaks me out.
I came home, went up to my roommate just with my arms out, dude. And I was like, dude, what happened? He started like telling me more about it, more details about it, and I just, Ruben, you are a huge sports fan. Yeah. I am not a huge sports fan, as everybody knows. I didn't grow up with the Lakers, with the Suns. I didn't do any of that. However, the way that I was coming at this was, we lost talent. We lost human beings, man. We lost potential talent from his daughter, from him. The pilot, the parents, all those people, all those individuals, talent.
He had so much teaching
that
to do. Like, I think that he was going to definitely, like, it was going to start with his daughter, but I could have seen him going bigger with like basketball academies, which I'm sure he probably already had, and like teaching others the game, and you know, he could have paved the way for a lot of other young successful athletes.
Ruben, where were you when you found this out, man?
Okay, I guess I was up for like an hour or so, and I was just on Twitter, just doing my usual scrolling, looking at sports stuff, anything that's trending, I'm always there. Then I saw Kobe, just the word Kobe was trending, and I was like, did he do something? Did he buy a team? Did he
buy a team?
Did he why is he trending? He was trending the day before, because LeBron James passed him with a points record.
Oh yeah.
And Kobe tweeted about celebrating that and congratulating LeBron the day before. So I also thought it was like, oh, maybe, he said something else. He got interviewed. And then immediately I saw this TMZ tweet posted like 2 minutes ago. And it said Kobe dead. And I just was lost for words. I was like, how, what? And people would see TMZ, and sometimes people would say it's fake, but usually TMZ as of late has been pretty, accurate.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was hoping, like, can this finally be, something fake, and I'll come out here first. I was not a Kobe diehard. I was a Kobe hater. As a Suns fan, because he would destroy us, like you said.
He would destroy us. I'm glad. I appreciate the honesty.
But I did respect his game. I did respect what he did for the game. How he's mentored so many players that play today. Yeah. and even too his little Oscar win, the little short he did was incredible, very inspirational, and it just hurt me seeing that. And then over time, more stuff started coming out. There was at one point where there was this ABC reporter that misinformed people by saying all her daughters were on the helicopter.
Ooh.
And even there was some other player that was in the helicopter, which wasn't true. And people were saying that he was dead, but then reps for him came out saying he was not in there. Just a lot of like
misinformation,
which, and at that point you're like, what's real, what's not? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he, okay?
Yeah.
And then when the news that came out that her daughter was on board, that's where I felt like everyone felt that,
Mm-hmm.
because she was known before all of this happened. She was destined to like take
his mantle.
Yes.
Little Mamba.
And it's just her. And I've never seen a death of like someone significant affect the whole world.
You're right. Because these last few years we've lost rappers. Yeah.
We've lost rappers. We've lost actors. We lost Paul Walker.
This just felt like out of nowhere, man. I mean, like, I know you said Paul Walker, but Paul Walker died by a car accident.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, he was doing his thing. He was doing the Fast and Furious thing. And then but to hear about Kobe, on his way to go and do something so
good for his daughter too.
His daughter, man. We watched the interview, the issue statement of his wife. So strong, dude. What a strong woman, dude. I hate saying this, but I feel like Kobe would be so proud of her for that statement, dude. She was so strong. She held her composure. She was not emotional, which, if she was complete understanding, of course, man. But man, what a woman, dude. What an inspiring woman. Honestly, our prayers and our thoughts go out to their families, all those individuals that were in that helicopter.
It's tragic.
It is tragic, man.
There's never know, man. Like, you got to live every day, enjoy it.
You're right, man. You're right. It really. I hate that it takes stuff like this for us to really treasure life. Really treasure it, to really honor it, to really respect it. I think about death so much, man. I really do. I think about death so much, and so when that happened, it was like, damn, man, it could be.
It was quick.
Anybody, dude. Yeah. Him.
Of all people, right?
Them.
I was like,
what? Why not me?
Right.
I'm not the best.
Right. I was just so in shock, man. Like, I feel like growing up, seeing him play, just seeing his grind, like, it inspired me so much. Because, like, that dude, I heard of this crazy story of this player, a rival player on another team. He tried to get there early to, like, beat everyone to the gym and shoot, right? So by the time he gets there, he said Kobe's just drenched in sweat, just putting up shots.
By himself.
4 a.m. just putting up shots by himself. And he's like, what the heck? And then he said he just sat there and he just watched him for a whole hour, just sat there and watched him. He's like, screw this. Like, he's already warming up. I'm not even going to go out there.
Yeah.
So he watches him for a whole hour. And then the guy's like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And then I guess after that game, he dropped like 40 points or something. And he asked him about like why he's in the gym and different things like that. And he's like, I just wanted to show you that you weren't going to work harder than me. I was like, what?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, dude, just that mentality. I was like, oh my God.
Jeez.
Career ender, man. Like,
dude, he had so many good motivational quotes, man. His mentality was that I just want to be the best. I don't want to be the next Magic Johnson. I just want to be the next Kobe Bryant. I just want to be the best at what it is that I do, man.
It's that Mamba
And
mentality.
that's that Mamba
Yes.
mentality. I take that into me when it comes to filmmaking.
Yeah, we
into
gotta like
everything,
pass,
man.
keep that going. You know, put
into
in our
everything.
our own lives. Yeah.
Everything. With that down and out of the way, we're gonna move on to our topics
Yes,
today.
the juicy stuff.
The juicy stuff. Dean, you have some questions about being a filmmaker. You're an inspiring filmmaker. You're really wanting to get into this in the way that I am.
Heck yeah. Just to start off with, like, there's times where I see you on set, dude. You just
We've been on set together.
Yes,
a few times.
we've been on set a few times, and like, I'm always amazed because there's a difference between definitely like holding the camera and just shooting.
Yeah.
But I'm amazed how you can come on the set and like everybody has cameras in their hands. You don't need that. And I feel like a lot of people just look to you for direction, and they're just like, what should we do here? And you just know. You're like, try this, try that. And like, I don't know how to really explain it, but you always, like, how are you so confident with directing like your scenes? Just, I feel like people, when you're on set, you're like the go-to guy. They look at you and they're like, hey, what do we do here? How do you take all of that responsibility, all that just that weight of the production and just
It's a lot of weight.
It's
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
of all, it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight, dude, to carry on. It's not easy. It's not. First off, I'm always flattered when people look to me, like the way you say, for my judgment, for my input, because I do believe I have good insight. I do believe I have good criticism when going on other people's sets and helping them direct. The confidence just comes from, man, I don't even want to say I'm confident though too at the same time. Dude, I'm the most humble person you can meet, if I'm being honest, dude. I'm not even like self-absorbed into this. But the confidence comes from just knowing all the movies that I've watched, and countless movies, but all the movies that I've watched and all the angles that I've seen, and seeing how they execute them, and seeing how confident those directors are in those shots that they do, in their direction, kind of just makes me more confident in myself, because I know these are like my teachers, dude. When I watch these movies on screen, these are my teachers. You know, they're not just making a movie; they're making me a lesson plan, dude.
Oh.
They're showing me these shots, these lighting, these character developments, the flow of things, how things need to be edited, stretched out, shortened, tightened, all that. The confidence comes from just watching, dude.
So you like develop that like deep understanding from just watching, and like I feel like I do the same thing, like reading a lot, but to actually, like, I feel like when you see it on screen, it probably helps out a lot more seeing it visually. Because I talked to this DP, and he was also telling me he pretty much was saying that he doesn't go to the movies just to watch a movie. He like dissects every part of the movie. And
That's why this podcast exists, dude.
Yeah.
It's because I can't go to the movies without dissecting the hell out of them. It's almost annoying, dude, because I can't enjoy a movie. I can't just be an average audience member and just be like, good movie, good for them, good, good. They look like they had fun. I can't be like that, dude,
Right.
because now I'm like, money was wasted, time was wasted, energy was wasted, dude, in nothing, in a nothing product. You're saying, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's just it's just awesome to see like that you're able to pick that up from the visual side of things, because I definitely want to do that more, like watch a lot more to like learn, like, because I do think that you can be inspired and pick up different things, just like watching 1917. I recently just watched that, my man.
Goodness, dude, tell me what you
Yes.
thought about that,
Dude.
From
Okay.
a technical standpoint, dude, the
Dude.
cinematography in that movie,
Insane.
man, I really hope it wins awards. Any award.
Just something,
Just
right?
something,
At least,
dude. Acknowledge
at
the
least
movie.
cinematography, because dude, that flare scene with the flares going over in the town with the shadows, that was insane. And
Have
like,
you seen the behind the scenes?
yeah, I
on it?
watched the behind the scenes, and what was crazy was for some strange reason, I'm looking for the behind the scenes giant light thing that he had, but you didn't even see it. No. You just saw the light.
Yeah.
And that was just like, I just thought that was beautiful. Like, I didn't think I was going to get too immersed in it because I've been like reading a lot about different shots and how things look. So I didn't think I was going to get immersed. Yeah. But dude, I was immersed in the movie because it was just one consistent. I felt like a lot of the times it was just flowing because like they just had the guys like just moving the camera, following the characters. I just thought it was good. Yeah. Honestly liked it.
It was very inspiring for creators. I felt like any creator can watch that movie and really become inspired by a one take, dude. Yeah. Having to nail all that down, dude. And yeah, the whole movie's not a one take, but at least 20 minutes is a one take, you know, in fractions, you know.
Like there's not those like classic OTS or you know, they have to do like an establishing wide and then they're going in. Like you just see the planning that they had throughout that whole set. It was just insane.
Sam Mendes is a very talented director. I'm interested more to see what he does because the last movie he did was Skyfall, one of the best James Bond movies to date. And this was a war history movie. I'm more excited to see what he does, you know, after now. And wanting to see what original concept can he come up with.
I'm excited to see what like comes out next year too, because like I hate to say it, man. This year. I hate to say it, like, because the Oscars this year, it feels kind of dry. I don't know if that's my inexperience speaking, but it just seems to
this
me
year is really dry. A lot of movies have a lot of the same movies have a lot of nominations. They're in the same categories. You'll see the same movies in the same categories, dude. We were just talking about that in the last episode, and it's really annoying. Yeah, I mean, last year was a horrible movie, dude. For me, going to the movies, I go to every movie the night they come out, or a week or two before they come out. Usually, we get like pre-screening tickets.
Oh, nice!
And we get to see movies early. And 2019, I found myself really loving the indie market, over the blockbuster market, which is obvious, you know, because you're going to get more character depth. You're going to get more in depth with the indie movies versus the blockbuster movies. But I just hate that these blockbuster movies exist, man. Like Hobbs and Shaw, man. I don't know if you ever saw that, dude.
No, I didn't get to watch that one.
Abysmal, dude. that Hobbs and Shaw is the movie I like to describe 2019 as, man, because we had so many of that movie in other movies. Every movie felt like that movie, man. Felt like nobody cared. They got
to do more. Got to do better than that.
Yeah, man.
My next question I was going to ask you. So there's so many lanes in filmmaking, whether you're an editor, whether you're a DP, whether you're a director, so many lanes.
Jesus.
Like, I don't know if this is going to be a crazy hard one, but like, how do you find that lane? Like, how do you know, okay, I'm an editor or I'm a director? Like, how do you make that distinction? Because I've heard like in the industry, like people don't like when someone's like, okay, I'm a DP, I'm an editor, I do it all. Like they like one specific specialty a lot of the times.
Whoever gets all, you know, antsy and offended when like, oh, I do it all, you know, shut the hell up. Calm down. Calm the hell down, first of all. I do it all. I do it all, as you know. I do love holding one hat when it comes to projects. Sometimes I'm brought on projects as just the DP. Like, I just want you to shoot this, you know, we're gonna have someone else edit it, or, you know, most likely I'm gonna edit it. But having to get inside that DP hat, I find a lot easier because you don't have so much weight on your shoulders when you're doing the whole project, when you're directing it, shooting it, editing it, making sure everyone is there on time, making sure the props are good, making sure the setting's good, all of that stuff. I find it very overwhelming. I'm able to do it, But I find it very overwhelming to have to do all those jobs at once, man. It's a lot, dude. Especially because I'm only 21, dude. I'm only 21 in this full time for the last 3 years, and as the years have gone by, I'm more okay with taking back seats on projects. However, I do get very concerned when I'm not super involved in the project, like in all those hats, when I'm not wearing all those hats, because something goes wrong, whether if it's someone else that's going to edit this project. Now it just looks like some weird sketch comedy, bunch of flashes and editing, a lot of fast cuts and all this stuff. Not my style.
Right.
Yet I was the one that shot it. So now my name is like under this project and unattached to it.
Oh man!
And so now you're just like, oh, man,
like I got to take a risk here.
yeah, I took a risk there. Damn it. It is hard having to decide each hat. I really do love editing. I really do love putting the vision together, editing those colors.
Yes.
Getting into color grading, dude. That's like
one thing that like sticks out to me that I just love. Like,
yeah.
I've done, I think in terms of courses, I've done more color grading courses than anything. But I mean, I'm still like fresh in it, so I still don't know like, okay, if I want to do camera operating or directing, or
you feel like you would want to just take one role in this field.
It's hard for me to say that because I do like a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I just thought that it was like something that you had to do. Like you had to be like, no, I'm this, and like you stick with it. So I mean, personally, if I
you're
could
definitely
do it all,
more versatile if you do it all. You know, you're more versatile. I'm able to get more clients because I'm able to do it all. I'm able to think for them because some of the clients don't know what it is they want. They don't know the what is cool, what style to go for, where to shoot, what we should shoot. Should we have girls in this shaking their asses or not? You know, and I'm always the first one to say, no, you do not. I'm always the first one to be like, I don't like that idea, or I don't know. I've seen that before. We've seen that.
We've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, like why are we still doing that?
In terms of lighting too on set, like was that something you picked up in school or just experience, like with how you light your sets? Because I remember we were doing the Joker and you came out with that like giant silver thing. I was like, what are you doing with that? Like, I didn't know where to put it or like how to set it up.
In terms of lighting, I am not the most tech savvy person.
Me either.
All. You know, I'm constantly drawing blanks when I'm with like my other filmmaker friends, my other DP friends. And they start talking about all these settings, all these this and that, and they're getting very technical in it, and I just don't understand the language. I start blanking out. I'm like, that is where I end. You know, that is where I end. I can no longer continue with you in this conversation because my ignorance in it, because I'm so much into directing and everything like that, and I kind of like leaving those specific jobs to other people and other talented people, as those intellectuals who are so much into lighting
and the technology of it.
That being said, when I love having all of the equipment that I need to have. You know, this goes again into being versatile. I have this boom mic. I have this big studio aperture 120 light. That if I ever need these for a bigger production, then I have them. And if I have someone on set with me who knows a lot about lighting, now I've provided all of what these equipment for them, and I can tell them what my vision is for the scene. I can show them a screenshot from another project, from another music video I've seen. I'm trying to replicate this, and they can help me direct where the lighting and everything goes. But at the same time, it is pretty simple figuring out the type of lighting, the type of tone you want to go for, and it also helps, you know, too, when you're color grading, you know, you're able to change the hues and everything, dude.
So you definitely come on set with that vision of what you're shooting. Like you're like, all right,
Yes.
this is what I want, and help me figure it out. Or,
Yes,
yeah.
I love people helping me out. I love people telling me, you know, maybe we should do this, and that. You know, I love it being an open discussion. You know, for those who haven't seen our Till I Die,
Dude.
the posters right behind us, project. That project is like the epitome to me of something completely unplanned and just talking it through the entire process. You know, while we were there shooting it, you were in it. You were
Yeah,
you
man,
were
that was awesome.
the opponent fighting James Bond, Steve. You first off, you came that morning. I messaged you that morning, and you had no idea. I had no idea that you were gonna do a fight scene until we got to the location. We're like, this would feel a lot better if we had, you know, a fight scene in between. And you both were were trained martial arts. You both have been trained fighters, and it was so cool for me to just like tell you guys what I expect out of the scene, and then I get to take a step back in the corner and just watch you two talk it out and figure it out yourselves.
Yes, that was definitely a good opportunity to be creative and to just go with it. Like we just went with it, and it came out phenomenal. Like when I saw it, dude, you should have seen my reaction. Like I should have made a reaction video when I saw the video, like the complete movie like done. I was like, dude, I was like, they sleeping on my man Isaac. They're sleeping on him. Like, dude, I was just hype. Like it was some good stuff, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I edited all that week. I was just so obsessed with it, so addicted to it, so into it, man. I wanted to do it. It was a fun challenge. I'm always doing challenge projects. I don't really have a name for them. I don't want to call them that because that sounds whack. But I'm always doing challenge projects where I like something. I've been watching a lot of something. Like this past week, I've been watching not this week, but lately I've been watching a lot of fashion videos, simple fashion videos.
I've been seeing a lot of that, like
H&M, American Eagle, Nike. You know, the lifestyle of fashion, of regular people just wearing regular clothes in regular settings, and just the way that they put it together. I really find interesting. I love the colors. I love the music. I love the feeling of them. So this past week, I've spent the last 3 days in a row doing last minute fashion videos with different females. Yesterday I shot one with myself, but all to kind of just get myself into those mentalities of an editor for a fashion video, an editor for this, and now all of a sudden when I put these projects out, which I haven't yet, but when I do put these projects out, I'm going to expect so many people to just message me and say, I want to do something like this. I have this outfit. I have this location. This would be really cool. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And now all of a sudden I get to make an income off of those projects because I did, you know, these little, you know, last minute things just for fun. I can now show them to people, and maybe people be interested in it for work.
And I'm sure that helps a lot with the reel. That's what I was going to ask you. Like, as a director, like, what are things that you like to put in your reel to show people? Like, this is what I do. This is why you should pick me for your shoot.
Dude, it's really hard because everybody's critical. Everybody's so critical. My most recent director's reel. I met with this guy who wanted me to edit all of his. He worked for NASCAR.
Ooh.
And he wanted me, and he shot all these videos on a red camera, and he wanted me to edit them for him. He wanted to meet me. He called me up, wanted to meet me at a diner, wanted to do the whole thing. I hate meetings. First of all, dude, I hate meetings because people waste my fucking time, dude. They waste my time because they play business. Some people play business. Some people act like this is a business meeting, we're going to meet and talk business. But when really, in reality, this could have been a simple text message. This could have been a simple phone call. So that right off the gate was pretty annoying. But anyways, I indulged him. I said, okay, this seems like a serious guy. He's serious about it. He's in a serious profession. I'm going to meet him. It would be an awesome opportunity to edit red footage for NASCAR, is what I was telling myself. I met the guy. I had the meeting with him, and he had never looked at my stuff. As the conversation progressed, he had never looked at my stuff, and that was really disappointing. Because
that must have been tough, man.
Why would you call me? Why would you want to have a meeting with me if you've never seen my stuff? It's not about my ego at all. Like, oh, you haven't seen my work. I don't care if I don't expect people to see my work. But if you're going out of your way to try and hire me to see if I'm the right fit, you got to do your homework on me, dude. So I was with this guy. I was like, oh, so you really don't know anything about me. Shit. Okay, well, I kind of need to tell you, like, everything, kind of feels like. So I showed him my director reel. We're in this restaurant,
which is great, by the way, phenomenal.
Thank you, dude.
I saw that. I was like, dude, like I need to start making stuff. I love my director's
reel too. I really do. Thank you. That was everything on my director's reel is my GH5. It's not even S1. My Lumix S1H work either. I haven't even updated that, so that's gonna be a while. But anyways, I was showing him my work in this restaurant with music playing in the background. The worst way you can show somebody a video, it felt like, because he's not going to get it. He's not going to get who I am, a sense of what I am. Now he's just looking, and he's like looking around too. He's not paying attention, dude. He's not paying attention. He's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool, And I'm getting that now, pretty insecure about myself, And so he as the video progresses, he sees, club clips that I shot at different clubs. And he starts telling me, you should really take those out of your director reel. And I was like, why? And he was like, because nobody is going to take you serious with club stuff in your director reel. And I was like, well, the only reason I put them there is because I do a lot of event videography. I've been to EDM clubs, I've been to festivals, I've been to all those, and it's just there to show those people that I'm capable of doing it. And he's like, doesn't matter, nobody cares. Wow. I never worked with the guy. I never worked with him. I was like, that was probably the worst one of the worst meetings I ever had. But everybody is so critical. Everybody thinks that this is what this has to be. This is what it should look like. When I am not catering to just you, I'm catering to everybody when it comes to the director reel. In a perfect world, my director reel would be a bunch of scenes. Movie scenes that I've shot, but I haven't shot movies. I'm in the middle of writing scripts. But I haven't made my first movie, not my first serious movie. So all I have to go off of for my director's reel is promotional work,
right?
That I've done for people.
I hear you on that. That's what's strange, because I feel like a lot of people like turn their nose up like in certain areas of filmmaking when somebody's like, okay, I shoot weddings, and they're like, you shoot weddings? Like, where's the scenes? Like, where's the cinematography? Like, they want to see.
Hate doing weddings, dude.
Yeah, weddings are nice, dude. Like, I did one, and it was my actual first like paid gig, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the editing. I enjoyed actually speaking to the couple, and when I was able to do it in post, I kind of knew what they wanted from speaking with them, and it just was a great experience.
Not everybody, not every couple, not everybody,
yeah.
But in some cases, when doing weddings, most often I'll get clients who are just so appreciative, man. And I don't expect that. I don't expect them to say anything, because it's a job, dude. They're paying me to do my job. I do my job, and that should be it. However, when they acknowledge you for what it is that you're doing, it makes it that much more worth it. I just did a wedding last month, my most recent wedding, and they were so appreciative. At the end of the whole night before we left, they came up to us. They hugged me and the other photographer, and they're like, "You guys were so great. Everything went so wrong today, but you guys were so right today. You were there. You got all the shots. You guys did more than we could have ever asked." Just and then they start crying, dude.
Wow.
A bride starts crying, dude, and you would think the most emotional thing would be getting married, but no, it's her thanking the photographer. And I remember me and my friend, we were driving back home. We had like an hour and a half drive back home, dude. And
Where'd you guys end up doing it? Was it up north or?
Yeah,
Okay.
Somewhere like past like Gilbert, Mesa, like up
Okay,
there.
super far.
Yeah. But we were just like, that made it worth it. That made it so much worth it, knowing that they loved us that much, knowing that they are that happy with our work, that we were able to give them that feeling of satisfaction, dude. And then they get it even double time when they get the product within weeks, you know. Some wedding photographers, videographers will take months. I do my best to get it to them within a month. You know, within 4 weeks is my time frame. And even then, dude, you know, sometimes I'll try and get it to them while they're on their honeymoon, dude.
Oh, I bet they love that.
Even the cherry on top, dude, they love it, dude. Of course, man. The biggest thing is client satisfaction. I love satisfying my clients. I hate sending them something and getting no response, dude. No response back. But typically no response means is like they like it. You know, it's a good video.
Right.
You know them not saying anything bad is always good. It's
always good, yeah.
But when they don't say anything, it's kind of, you know, discouraging. But, you know, it's very, very frequent when I'll get a personal phone call now. Like, what you did was awesome. Thank you. I haven't gotten that much these days, dude.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder what's going on. The question that everybody wants to know, I've been thinking about for a long time.
What?
Dude, how the heck? Okay, from going from having a studio at, was it 18, 19? Having your own studio to
19.
That's insane.
19, 20,
and like,
I was 20.
how? I remember seeing that. My first thing was, this guy's super highly motivated.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how the hell does he do this? Like with studio, just everything you keep up with, the equipment, everything. I was just like, dude, like, how is this possible? Like, how did you do it? Like, how do you do it? How do you balance everything, like, in it, and make sure all your bases are covered? Like, how do you do that as a filmmaker?
Well, when I opened the studio, dude, I'll tell you this. It was a really depressing time for me, dude. It was one of the most happiest times of my life, and at the same time the most depressing time of my life, because I really discovered how alone I was, man. Because I had started that studio before I had even like put the money down and everything. I can't remember the number of people, dude, but I had like 10 people on board with me on this studio, on this idea of like, let's all work together. Let's be a company, and let's all work at this studio, and let's all pitch in,
Right.
and let's all do this together. You know, if you guys are really like as motivated as into this as I am, I got this idea. Let's do this, and that. You know, all it takes is this, and that for us to do it. As time went on, one by one left, dude. One by one, until it was like just me, dude. Till it was just me, and I had at that point probably like 9 months, 10 months left on my lease, and I was fucking scared as hell, dude. Yeah. I had to move out. I was living with my grandfather. I moved out on my 18th birthday because I was having issues at home, and so I pretty much ran away, dude. I don't like saying ran away because I was 18. I was an adult.
Right.
I could do whatever I want. But I was fresh out of high school, dude. High school had just ended, and I felt like I ran away, dude. I had to move out of my grandpa's house because I couldn't afford living there with him anymore because I had to pay the bills on this studio because everybody left. So now all the income that I am making off of filmmaking is going back to the studio.
Wow.
And some months I was not making a profit. I don't want to say I was losing money because I wasn't losing money. I was always making just enough
to
pay the bills,
right.
just enough to keep the lights on, but not enough to eat, barely enough to get gas, barely enough to go to the movies, barely enough to travel to LA to see my family, barely enough to do all these things. But I made just enough to pay the rent and not get the cops called on me, pretty much, dude. And I was living in that place, man.
What?
I was sleeping on the couch. I was brushing my teeth in the sink. I had my clothes in a I didn't even have a closet or drawers, dude. I just had some box crate that had all my clothes in them, dude. And I just changed in there. I had a refrigerator. I had a whole kitchen area for the studio, and that's where I would eat and everything, dude. But I was living in this place, dude, and I just felt so I let down. I felt so let down.
So it was supposed to be a team thing. Like you guys are supposed to be working together the whole time.
I wanted a team. I wanted a team, dude. I wanted the team so bad, man. So bad. I wanted to be with friends. I wanted people to come in every morning and hang out and edit and talk and be like, I'm struggling with it. I wanted to help them because some of these were new photographers, and some of them were into it for a few years and just needed better direction. And so I felt like a leader to them, dude. I felt like my passion was enough to lead them into it. But a lot of them were comfortable with regular jobs. They were comfortable, they didn't see a profit, for themselves, and you have to understand that, you can't argue when people want to leave, So every time someone was like, it's just not working out for me.
That's probably heartbreaking every time that happens.
I'm losing money here, I'm just gonna keep on working at my job at this restaurant, and all you have to say is, okay, dude. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. We're still here. You never hear from them again.
Wow.
They unfollow you. They're gone. Abandoned, dude. I felt abandoned. I really did feel abandoned. Now, I say all that because it was that depressing time in my life, but it was also an uplifting time because it was a point for me to really show how much I really meant this. That I did as much as I could to survive. I rented that place out as a venue, and I held some pretty cool, I don't want to say parties because I don't want to get arrested. But I had some cool events there, dude. I had people rent it out as their baby shower reveal. Some local artists came and did like their album release cover there. Some people had business meetings there, and so I was making money off of the venue side of it. I started looking at that. I was like, okay, I have a venue now. I have this big warehouse, and people can just come in here and do whatever the hell they want, and I'll just hide out in the back. So that was helping me out for a while. And the reason why I ultimately stopped doing the studio thing, I don't want to say it was because it was just me and it was just me by myself, because I could have easily just transferred to a suite. I could have easily done this. I could have easily kept going with it because I started to see profits. I started to see like, oh, I now know what I'm doing. I know that I can make money off this place. I know I can do this and that. My lease was coming. I only got a 1-year lease, which also, by the way, if you don't know, is really lucky, because most leases, they require you to do 2 to 3 years, 4 years, something like that, man. Yeah, they want you there long term. I can't dedicate to relationships that long, dude. Let alone a fucking building. Are you kidding me, dude? Insane. I said, look, I could be with you 1 year. I could be with you 1 year.
1 year for you.
But you know what, dude? I made that a really, really great year. I completely repainted that place. I switched out all the old ugly fans with new modern fans. I replaced all the light bulbs with fluorescent lighting, dude. When they gave me that place, it was completely 360 turnaround. Even the realtor was like, wow, this looks a lot better than what I gave it to you. You know, I pimped the place out for them because I was like, you know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to
Right.
give
It was
my
your
all.
space.
And the reason why I left too, you know, the year lease was up, and I was always traveling. I was always being offered traveling jobs, and I wanted to travel more. I wanted to see the world more, and I wanted less responsibility at the same time. And you know, you can rent out studios anywhere. You can rent out Airbnbs anywhere. You can rent anything anywhere. You just got to convince your client, you know, pay a little bit extra for the location.
For the spot,
Yes, for the spot. Ultimately is what it is. And so I decided to kind of just end it with that 1 year, get my own place, focus on myself, have less weight on my shoulders. And at that point, I kind of learned, I kind of taught myself to make so much income because I had to pay off the studio.
Yeah,
and
man.
survive.
Like that's such
So
a
that
skill.
income was still coming even when the studio closed. That income was still pretty big. And I was able to say, okay, I would like to focus that more on, you know, getting an apartment, getting a reliable vehicle so I can travel more, getting a better camera, getting better lenses, getting a light, getting a boom mic. I want to have all the equipment, everything that I need to be versatile. I want to have the freedom again, and that's something that I didn't have the first couple of years as a full-time filmmaker was the freedom, and I just craved that so much. And now
because you were like so stuck to that spot.
so stuck, dude.
Yeah, oh man,
So stuck, dude. And you know what? I got a lot of respect from my family, from my friends for pulling it off. You know, it wasn't easy, but
a whole year, man. I'm sure you like learn a lot from that experience. That's
there's this quote by Robin Williams. You know, a lot of having an empty wallet, a hungry stomach, and no place to sleep will teach you everything that you need to know about life, man. I was showering in the back of the building with a garden hose, dude, and a scrubber at 6 a.m. because nobody was out at that time. So I could be out there at that time and nobody can see me out here cleaning myself, dude.
Wow.
I was a fucking homeless man,
Oh,
man.
wow,
I was a hobo, man.
dude.
But
That's
I don't regret it at all, dude. At all. And people ask me today if I would open up a studio again. I don't know.
dude. I've actually seen. It's funny we're talking about studios. I've actually seen a lot of filmmakers benefiting from having like land where they can put props, where they could put different things, like, and that being even a lot more lucrative. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but I've seen some cool stuff with that.
You're right. Like Jacob Owens does a lot of like Airbnbs, dude. He talks about, you know, making such a huge profit off of Airbnbs. You know, you can rent those out to people who want to do shoots there. Not only do people want a vacation there, but people also want to film there.
Ooh. That's,
you know, I would definitely
insightful.
invest in land. I would invest in land. Not now. I think I am so happy with my early 20s and with where I'm at in my career, because every time I tell people I'm 21, they always have the same reaction. There you go. Yeah,
dude, like,
that reaction.
I know you're that age, but when you said, I was like, wait, he's 21. Like,
I got reminded last week. I was doing a video for an esthetician. She was even telling me, you know, just imagine when you're 28.
yeah.
Just imagine when you're 25. And I don't know where I'll be at that point, but I do hope, because of all the groundwork I've laid now, that it can help me when I'm at that age.
For sure. And that chimes on to, I wanted to talk to you about YouTube. I've seen like the success of YouTube in the last 10 years or so. So I know you have an Opus Vita YouTube channel. Do you see yourself like even creating your own personal brand on YouTube? Because I see a lot of guys, okay, this is the market right now and what I see. Tutorial, how to set up lights. What's the best gear? A day on the set, behind the scenes. And personally, dude, you do all of that and more. And I'm just thinking, like, would you see yourself creating your own like personal channel where you are showing those things? Because I've seen a lot of people get a lot of lot of attention and audience from that, and I just think you got the juice, man. I think you could do. I think you could do a lot better than a lot of what I see on there. Because to be quite frank, a lot of it can be boring. And I think you have that personality to, if you did have your own personal brand on there and shooting your behind the scenes, shooting your editing, showing your setup, reviewing your, which I don't know how passionate you are about that, but I think you can have some success.
No, I am. Thank you for saying that, dude. I am, and I do. I was like briefly doing those stuff like through my vlogs. And everything. But I do want to do those more often, and I think what it is, the reason why I haven't been doing that is because I'm just stacking up on information, on experience, on content that I'm creating. So when it comes time to teach those lessons and to talk about those things, I have all this to show and to demonstrate. And so
Gotcha.
you know, I do feel myself winding up to that pretty soon. But another thing that I love vlogging. I really do. I do love vlogging. I love making them into like documentaries, you know.
Yeah,
I hate calling them vlogs because that's such the YouTube vocabulary. But for me, they're like documentaries of my life. And a couple of the vloggers that I follow, one named Levi Allen, he does it in such a storytelling way.
Yeah.
In the way that he puts it together is that it's a movie, it's a documentary. But at the same time, it's the same information that a Casey Neistat would give out, but instead Casey's more, you know, pop,
yeah,
all these flashes and everything,
snappy
you know?
editing,
snappy editing, all that stuff, no color grading, none of that, you know. It's just is
zooming in and the
personality,
frame and all that,
you know, which is cool. But my approach to everything that I do is always like, well, what's the cinematic version of that? What's the cinema that I can show and demonstrate through that?
Because a lot of those guys, I'll be quite frank, not to interrupt, I feel, and this is not me dishing on them at all, because like I watch them for valuable advice, but
tell me.
A lot of these guys don't make anything. They just keep shooting their reviews, or they keep, I don't know, they're filmmakers, but at the same time, can you really call yourself a filmmaker if you're never really making anything?
You have all this equipment that you're showing off, but are you using it? Where are the projects that you're using it for? I get what you mean, which is why I don't do it, because and sometimes I'm like, well, who the hell am I to be giving out advice? Who the hell am I to be, you know, talking about what the best this and that? I could only tell you what it is I have, what it is that works for me, and this is why it works for me. And that's where I want to come across when I do, you know, videos like that. You know?
You can almost get yourself into a trap like that, because
this is the best camera for you.
Right, because I got myself in a little trap with all the equipment, and like just I find myself buying more than I'm making. I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing? How much do you think is too much money to spend on your own personal equipment? And like, when do you know to like, okay, now I'm gonna rent versus like having my own equipment?
I don't think I've ever rented camera gear. First of all, I used to rent camera gear from my high school teacher, but I mean that doesn't really count because you don't gotta pay for that. You know, you just gotta sign the little sheet, or sometimes you don't sign the sheet and you steal the camera.
Right.
I'm not admitting to anything. But I've always bought all my equipment and done like small tests with them, and if I don't like it, I'll return it. You know, I try to make sure wherever it is I purchase it through, whether it be B&H or Amazon, typically B&H Photo, is that I'm able to return it if I really don't like it, if it's not versatile for me. Because sometimes I will hear, you know, this is the best lens, and then I get that lens and I'm like, this lens is huge. This lens is impractical. Have you put a polarizer on this lens before? It's just a monster. There's no practicality in using this. And so that's where I find, you know, things that work for me. I have spent God, I forgot the number. I totally forgot the number. But me and Ruben like sat down and like did the numbers of like just messing around. Like, how much have I spent in the last couple of years since I've been serious in this? And my first serious purchase was a GH5. My GH5 camera, and between that, it's been a bunch of lenses, SD cards, GoPros, lighting, boom mic, all that bullshit. if I had to guess right off the top of my head, dude, I spent like over 30 grand.
Oh my
On
God, I
equipment.
was not expecting that.
20 grand. Somewhere around there.
Sheesh.
Somewhere around there, dude.
That's
And
insane.
we're talking about the computer. We're
that
talking
too.
about building my desktop. We're talking about the chair, the desk, the mics, the cords, the headphones, the SD cards. We're talking all those little things, dude, that make it what it is all together.
It just adds up like
It
fast.
adds up. And then you got clients that are like, well, that's way too much out of my price range. And you're like, well, you should see how much I'm spending on this equipment, man.
How do you deal with that awkwardness when the customer's like, that's too much for
There's
me?
two awkwardness. There's two types of awkwardness. There's one where they say you will receive payment upon delivery of the project, which that's not how I work when I'm doing business with most people. I ask to be paid up front because I'm doing all this work, and you know, who's to say that they don't like the video, ask for a bunch of re-edits, and now this process just gets longer and longer. Now I'm stuck with this project I've been editing for months and I still haven't received payment.
Oh no.
You know, annoying. So but anyways, there's that awkwardness where they're like, yeah, we'll pay you once the project's done, and you're like, I hate to break it to you, but I actually need payment beforehand.
Right.
There's that, and I forgot what the other one was. What were we just saying?
No, just like, how do you deal with that awkwardness? Because I always feel like that would be an awkward thing. Like, oh, I can't afford it, or that's too much.
When
I'm
they
like,
can't afford it. And see, dude, that was the second one. When they can't afford it. It's okay. It's okay if you can't afford it. Just because I say I prefer payment, you know, up front, that doesn't mean that I'm so stingy about money where, you know, oh, you can't afford me, then I can't do this. You know, I'm willing to hear people out always. And I tell them that. I'm like, well, tell me what's your situation. You know, if I have a bride that's like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm like, okay, well, where's your wedding at? How far is it from me? What time do you need me to be there? Maybe I can work with you and lower that price down a little bit, you know? Same with music videos. You know, what is your budget then? What do you think you can spend on this to make this project happen? They're like $200. Let me try and figure that out then for you, dude. And you know, it's not a problem of they can't afford it. It's a problem of what is it that we're filming? What is the project? What is the substance?
Because I'm sure
that's what I'm more interested in.
I'm sure your price points change, like based on what you're doing. Like I'm sure like a wedding's different from
but
like
look,
a commercial.
man. Some projects pay a lot more than others, and some pay nothing. So by following that logic, money really doesn't matter then.
Right.
Money really doesn't matter following that logic. And at that point, I'm now asking the question, okay, what is the project? What is it that we're doing? And I'm okay with coming at it from that point, dude. If I could film a movie for free, you know, if it's a great script, a great cast, but I get that experience, I get to do that, I'm all in.
Yeah. I feel you on that. How would you say too is in terms of storytelling? Because I know storytelling is the key. This is what we're in this for, to tell stories. Like how are ways that you learn how to become a better storyteller and better? Because I mean that's what we're in this for at the end of the day. Like I'm in this to tell stories the best way I can. How do you get better at telling your story? What I'm trying to say is pretty much like in terms of storytelling, how do you become, what makes a good storyteller? Like I don't know how to phrase this, but you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Because I mean it's one thing to shoot something and like there's really no story to it, or you don't know, like kind of like people don't really get what you're coming across or what you're trying to
I like to think the way that I started off with everything was being a storyteller. And when I was, 6 years old and saw Spider-Man 2 for the first time and saw that story, I had no camera, I had no computer, I had nothing to do that to get into filmmaking. All I had were my action figures, my draft book, and my mind. You know, and at that point, I'm just writing down different stupid stories that make no sense about a kid that learns how to tie his shoe for the first time. But that story got really recognized by my school. I remember thinking that was the weirdest thing ever, because all I did was write a story about, like, oh, this kid just really doesn't know how to tie his shoes, and he's really insecure about it. Everyone around doesn't know how to. Everyone around knows how to tie their shoes, but he really doesn't. And I got recognized for that story. I was like first grade, second grade, something like that. Principal recognized me for it, dude. They called up my mom.
Wow.
My mom read it, and I was just like, I remember just thinking, like, I don't think it was that much, but this is, you know, really cool that you guys recognize my writing over the entire classes. And we're not just talking my class, we're talking all the other classes that are in the same grade, dude. Wow. Like, why me? Why single me out? I always felt like. And at that point, it was always just writing in draft books. Writing.
I like that key word you said there, writing. Like, I feel like a lot of these great stories come from writing, and it comes from, like, putting stuff down.
Writing knockoff characters, dude. I wrote a bunch of knockoff superhero characters. You know, I wrote some superhero named Metal Man that was literally Spider-Man, but metal. You know what I'm saying, dude? But storytelling, what I A24 does amazing storytelling. A24, the studio, they do a lot of indie movies. They are fantastic storytellers, and what I find the best way to tell stories is like saying less is better. Facial reactions, people reacting things. That is the story. The story is what is this person thinking right now, and not knowing the answer. Because now your mind is just racing. Now your mind is just going.
You're engaged into it at that point.
You're engaged, and you're trying, and now you, the audience member, finds yourself trying to understand this character, whether this is a bad character or a good character. Storytelling, man.
Taking your audience on a trip, man.
You are, dude. Character arcs. Character arcs are important, because when you're done writing a project at the end, when you're done writing a script, you ask yourself, okay, this character was like this from the beginning, and now they are this at the end. Is there much difference? Did they learn something? Did they not learn something? Who are they now? Are they the same person? And if these kind of just don't correspond with each other, then the journey there wasn't satisfying.
Right.
You know?
Right. So you're taking your audience through that journey.
It's
of
the
your
journey.
character.
It's the journey.
Yeah.
The journey is because look, you can predict any movie. I feel like you can predict things. You can predict that Joker is going to kill Murray on the show. You know? You can.
I had a feeling. I had some strange feeling that was going to happen.
You can take a guess, and you'll most likely be close to it. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the journey. People get so confused with like, oh, I saw that coming. Well, it's not about seeing it coming. What matters was the journey there to it. Was the journey satisfying? Did you feel like you learned about this character? Do you feel like you can sympathize for this person even though you thought you never could?
Yeah, just like getting there
from
the beginning to end. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I love filmmaking, dude. I really do.
Yeah, man, I get lost, dude. Like sometimes when I'm just on my journey, because I do a lot of reading, like you were saying. Like I read a lot, but sometimes it gets to the point where I'm just like, dude, like I need to get making stuff. So like I've definitely been investing in some things. Like I just recently bought.
What's some stuff you want to make? What's the kind of filmmaker that you want to be in?
So that's a great question, man. I want it to be centered on story. That's for sure. You know, I definitely want. I like a lot of action in terms of like I was really inspired growing up by Enter the Dragon, Kill Bill, like classics like that. And I want to that's not the only thing I want to do. I want to do
Bill when she stabs her eye out of her.
Yeah,
and she's got no eyes, dude.
And she's just drama.
Running around the RV, dude. Oh my god.
So seeing that kind of stuff growing up But ultimately, I want to touch on the big things. Like, I feel like social things that we go through. I feel like that we don't collaborate enough as people. Like, I feel like we think we're our own islands a lot of the times, and we don't. That's why when you're telling me the story about what happened with the studio, it's like it's so much easier for people to all come together and create something. Even you see it on movie sets too. Everybody works together versus I can't do this, or I'm not going to work with them, or people want to build their own brands versus like, how can we help each other create?
Everybody wants their own LLC. Everyone wants their own brand. Everyone wants their own studio, dude. Everyone wants their own business, dude. And I don't think that mentality works. I don't. I'm still, till this day, I consider myself a one-man island. I don't like that. I don't prefer that. I prefer the team building way, because that's
a team.
I went to leadership camps, dude, in high school. So I just have that leadership mentality already. So it just disappoints me when I see, this person off in the corner on set not feeling like they're part of this. They're just standing there. They don't feel like they have any reason to be here. They feel like their time is being wasted. I hate wasting people's time, dude, on sets. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, man. It's just, that's like going back to what we were talking about with the filmmaking. Like, when I make films, what I want to do is talk about these issues. Like, I feel like social media not being that social. Like, a lot of people have social media and they follow all these people, but it's very rare that people actually communicate with these people. They're just like these avatars, these people in the digital world. Like,
avatars.
Yeah, like that's almost what it becomes, because too, like, no one even really shows you the bad stuff or like really what they go through on a daily basis. You're only seeing their avatar. And I think like just you can create so many stories off of that. It's just like, I want to talk about these big things, man. Like, it's just stuff like this plays in my mind all the time. And I really think about how, like, where's the connection at? Where's the connection? Yeah. Like, I sit at the dinner table with family and it's like, why are we sitting here like gossiping for 30 minutes when we could be talking about something important, talking about ideas? Like, in terms of the planet, like, let's talk about the planet. Where the hell is all this trash going?
You're right.
That's one big thing. Like, I put out like a giant bag of trash a day, like just me. Where's all this trash going? Like, I had this crazy idea for a short talking about in Phoenix. Like, we'd gone in a desert to shoot it, and it's like 50 years or 100 years in the future. And like, I was just thinking, I had the establishing shot in mind of like, you just see these empty ass water bottles and it's just the desert. There's nothing there. And it's like, we get to a point where we've depleted everything that Earth has, and they pick up a license plate. They're like, this is Arizona. And like, I remember writing down the script, and it's like, they pick up this Arizona license plate and they're like, what the hell? Like, where are we? And the guy's like, we're in Phoenix. I'm like, what? It's like dirt. Like, I've heard of this. Like, I've heard stories of this. Like, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's a desert. It's barren. There's no water. There's no resources. And I really do get passionate about the environment, because it's like, dude, like, where do we put all this stuff? Even the Colorado River, like, let's talk about that. That's running out. Most people don't realize that. And that powers Los Angeles. It powers Las Vegas and also Phoenix. But they've just been showing it declining progressively. And like, to make films like that, I think would really like open people's eyes. Like, Interstellar was one of the films that movie, dude.
Wow.
That movie
what an
really inspired me. I was like, dude, like, what if the Earth was like that?
Yeah, man. One of my favorite movies, dude.
Insane.
One of my favorite movies. I'm sorry. I just love how it starts off like a documentary.
Yes.
Of like this land, this farm, we used to, flip plates around because the dirt would fall from the ceilings.
Right.
Like, what am I watching right now, dude?
And just that, like, when you're talking about that journey, we get taken on this crazy journey of him pretty much trying to save the planet. And like, I feel like everyone needs to, at some point, I feel like, look inside themselves and be like, how can I help out with this? Because we do have to work together. Like,
yeah.
Even this, I made this joke recently because this whole coronavirus big thing that's been going around. Like, dude, if that's unchecked, like, coming from the medical field, if that's unchecked, that could be really bad. And it's like, I'm sure we're going to contain it, But my biggest concern and like where the joke comes from, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna, instead of investing in a new camera, I'm gonna be buying guns and supplies and masks.
Yeah.
Like, post-apocalyptic. Maybe that's what I really have a flair for too. I like a lot of post-apocalyptic movies, like The Book of Eli, stuff like. Dude,
I have it.
that movie is insane.
Yes,
like I love
course,
post-apocalyptic movies. The Road, you remember that one? Like
Yes.
Dude, The Road, man.
Mad
Max too.
That was coming to my mind the entire time you were talking.
I feel like it shows. What I like about movies like that, I think it shows people what could be if you don't get with the program.
Yes.
It's like, get with the program, or we're gonna end up like
Eating each other.
Eating each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I hate social media. I really do, dude. I am not on it the way people think I'm on it, which is the most frustrating part, dude. I only go there to it's LinkedIn for me. The best way I can describe it is it's LinkedIn. It's where I can post my resume, my work, and get the hell out of there. Because I feel like it's just so toxic. It's so exactly what you were saying was it's just avatars. You see nothing but the good and nothing but the bad in people. You see the glam, the flashes, and everything, but you don't get a sense of humanity off of people. You know, that's why I have this podcast, is because this is, you know, the brief humanity, you know, that people can connect to off of me if they really want so. Man, dude, when you're talking about the environment, I was just thinking about this report that said, like, by 2040, like, Arizona is just gonna be like unlivable, dude. We're eventually gonna be unlivable because of the heat. It's just gonna get hotter and hotter.
Yeah,
you looked at reports
concrete
at the last
buildings.
years, dude. It's been going up very slowly, but that indicates over time, if that keeps on very slowly going up, we're gonna be unlivable, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to step
stuck
outside.
we're gonna be stuck in our houses all summer, man. I had a crappy car last summer, dude. No AC.
Oh,
And I was working all summer, dude. I was driving to every photo shoot with an ice pack on my head, dude. Just sweating.
Windows down, probably. Like, give me something here.
Just sweating, dude. Horrible, dude. It's horrible here.
It's scary to think about, man, because we do live in like one of the hottest places on this side of the world. Like, it's weird. Like, out of all places, this place.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then what about like LA too, California? Like, it's just burning up. Like, a lot of places in the world, like the Amazon, Australia. Heart goes out to that, and just everything just seems to be burning up. Like, what's going on? Like, we need more people like trying to fix this, or maybe even talking about it. That's why I like DiCaprio. DiCaprio's been talking a lot about.
He uses his platform well, dude. Him and Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix does a lot more talking about vegetarians, you know, not eating meat so much, you know, plant-based food. He talks more about that. But Leonardo DiCaprio, when he goes more into the environment, I love it when celebrities use their fame and their platform to do good like that.
Yeah. When I saw him doing that and watching The Revenant, like, dude, he deserved every award he got for that movie. That movie was insane. But just like how he didn't use that success for his own glory. He immediately shifted gears and started to like, okay, how can we fix what's going on here? I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I really enjoyed talking to you today, dude. I really enjoy. I know you've been wanting to get together and sit down and just kind of pick my brain for a while.
It's been a while, man. I've been like, man, like, there's so much I gotta ask you. I'm sure there's still a million and one things I gotta ask you in the future.
You can ask me anything, dude. You have anything else you want to ask before we close up?
I would say, like, how do you? I think it, which I'm answering my own question here, but how do you like find your, like, it's. You know, it's crazy because conventionally, perfect. I'm getting what I'm saying here.
It's coming.
You're right. It's coming. Conventionally, okay. So let me just go back into a little story about me. So I was actually going to go to acting school. I was going to go to a school called American Dramatic Conservatory in Los Angeles, and I auditioned for the school. I got in. I had everything going. The bottom line was, okay, this is how much it costs. It's like, what? $250,000 like over 4 years? Yeah, it would have been something insane. And my mom told me, she's like, hey, dude, you should honestly, you got good grades. You should go to nursing school or whatever. Try something else academically for now. And even my acting teacher, she told me, she's like, LA is a crazy place. And she's like, I would just wait, get something solid because you can always go back out there. And my thing was, all these people were telling me that like you need to do something stable. You need to have like this backup plan. And when I watch a lot of guys like you, like I feel like you have this just dogged determination in one direction as to I want to do filmmaking, and you stick to it. And I'm glad I went through this whole school route because now I see that I actually like the filmmaking side more than acting. I still like acting, but I think ultimately like it's like how do you just find this like dogged determination and belief, I would say, in yourself to focus on this like lane, and you stay in your lane, which is great. Like you just focus and you're just like full steam ahead. Like how do you trust yourself and believe? And like here's another thing, like I want to invest in the Blackmagic 6K like in the near future, like in the next couple months, but it's like, oh, like should I save my money here? Like am I making another crazy decision? Like how do you trust yourself with these decisions and like knowing that?
Well, first off, you gotta recognize that it's not a hobby. There's a lot of people that treat it like a hobby and call it a career. It's bullshit, I know a few people personally that kind of grind my gears because they just picked up a camera, a few months ago, and all of a sudden they think they're a photographer. Where I the best way I can describe myself is through the Man of Steel. Have you seen Man of Steel?
Yeah.
When General Zod takes his whole suit off and he's looking at Kal-El and he's all, I was born a warrior. Where were you trained? On a farm?
Right.
Pissed off and offended at him, dude.
Superman.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
I kind of feel that way sometimes.
Right. It's like, where do you come from?
Yeah,
right?
a farm.
Yeah.
But then again, I remind myself, who the hell are you? No, dude, it's I went to film school, dude. I went to film school, and I regret going to film school. I wish I never went to film school because I was
really.
I was told the same thing. Whereas, like, you gotta have a plan. You gotta go to a school. You gotta go a school and get a degree in something. And I figured, well, if I have to go to school, then I'm gonna do it for what I like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do another 4 years of biology and math. Something I just will yawn at the class sessions. So I went to film school, learned nothing, finished the program. They didn't help me afterwards, and then I opened up the studio and I started making all the connections on my own.
That's tough, man.
It is tough to get. It feels like the first question when we were talking about it is the confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
It being so confident that this will work out, but when the truth of the matter is, I never believed anything that I was going to do was going to work out for me.
Wow.
I always had the mentality of, I'm going to do this, but if it fails, I'll do this. So it was a game of chess I was playing with myself. I was always 10 steps ahead. I was like, if I go bankrupt, I'll go do this. If I lose all my money at the studio, I'll do this. I'll have this in place, and so forth. So I was more of a logical thinker where some people aren't, where they just dive into it and just figure it out along the way, which is one way to do it. But, I feel bad for people that do go to school because they're wasting so much money, dude. All that money that they could have been using on making those connections themselves.
Yeah, that's a good question too, because I was actually thinking, like, I'm really rushing to get this last semester done because I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll take a few classes. But I see a lot of people, and a lot of what I'm getting is, dude, just do it.
Yeah.
Just start making shit. Start getting experience. Like, that same money you're spending on class, you could, like, buy fucking Ursa Mini or like a giant camera or something that
you can
helps
buy
you.
a camera. You can sign up for improv classes, and those improv teachers will tell you, okay, you're doing good. Let me set you up with these coaches. Let me set you up with these managers. Or you can sign up for some agency, pay a small fee for. Even though you're not talented and good looking, you still sign up to be in those agencies.
Right.
And, you know, you put yourself out there. Is what I was doing. I was like, I'm just gonna throw myself out there and hope someone catches onto it. You know, not a lot of people are lucky that way, because I always look at it for myself as like, I was lucky to always get these clients. I was lucky for people to always like believe in me. But at the same time, you know, I had to believe in myself. I couldn't be lying to these people. You know, I had to believe in me.
That's deep, and that's another thing I always wonder, like, okay, now I got the camera, I got the stuff to edit with. Okay, now how do I get to reach these people? How do I get them convinced in like these ideas that I have and these things that I'm trying to create and put out there? Because that's like the next step for me. Definitely, like I definitely want to create and, you know, meet new actors and just play around with microfilm, short films just to start, you know.
I've been playing a lot with black and white filmmaking this year.
Ooh,
that's what I'm gonna be doing, man. Yeah,
I love that stuff, man. I love the look, man. Taking us back.
You're right. That's what I love, man. Well, thank you so much, dude, for being here today on Opus Vita Talks with us, man. I really appreciate you, dude.
Yes,
for being here, dude. You're welcome here anytime again if you have any more questions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Watching Opus Vita Talks. We will be back next week with our review on Birds of Prey. Ooh. It's apparently getting really great reviews. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I'll be there though to watch it, and I'll be here to tell you guys all about it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.